That year, Marcus rejected my proposal in front of over 10,000 teachers and students. Grace, you think 4 years of sleeping with me is enough to make you my wife? Don't you think you're worthy? Get more practice in bed and try to please me for another 10 years. Then we'll talk. He crushed the flowers in my hand, threw the diamond ring I'd spent all my savings on into the trash can, and loudly complained it was pathetic. 10 years later, we met at a wedding. He entered with women on both arms, and a look of triumph flashed in his eyes the moment he saw me. No way. Grace, 10 years later, you still can't let me go? I just came back to the country for a wedding, and you have to follow me like a shadow? Are you that desperate to get into my bed? This is the wedding of Metropolis's richest man. Tell me, how much money and connections did you spend to get in here? I chuckled silently, then calmly walked away. It was truly laughable. Today's bride was me. Why would I need to spend money or find connections? The moment I turned, I cursed William 1,000 times in my head. He'd insisted on a wedding rehearsal, claiming he was worried about not performing well at his first wedding, but he hadn't even bothered to screen the guests properly. On such a momentous day, he had spoiled my mood. Just as I was about to pull out my cell phone to say a few words to him, a pair of hands suddenly reached out from behind me and clamped tightly around my wrist. Grace, there's no need to act so high and mighty, is there? You came here just to see me, didn't you? If you leave now, all the effort and money you spent to see me will have been wasted. I tried to shake him off, but he pulled me tighter. Marcus's tone softened slightly. All right, Grace, I know what happened 10 years ago was just me playing a trick on you. Actually, I came back this time to find you. After thinking it over, you're the only one around who's obedient and sensible. I agree to your proposal from 10 years ago today. He quickly added, don't worry, this time I'm serious. I'm not playing with you at all. I turned slightly, and Marcus's dismissive gaze was no different from 10 years ago. That year, during graduation season, Marcus and I talked about the graduation breakup curse. He was bouncing a basketball, casually wiping sweat, and replied, then let's get married. I thought he was joking. After all, there was a vast difference in social status between our families, but he immediately adopted a very serious expression. I'm serious, Grace. If you propose to me in front of all the teachers and students in our school, I'll definitely say yes. I loved him with a love that saw him as the light of my life. I believed him, and with a maiden's shyness and a knight's courage, I began preparing for my proposal. I slept only 3 hours a day, washing dishes, delivering takeout, tutoring. All the money I earned went to buy a diamond ring for Marcus and to set up the proposal site. I didn't have any money left to buy myself a dress, so I found the white dress my mother had made for me and had a tailor alter its style. On the day we finished taking our graduation photos, I knelt on one knee and proposed to Marcus in front of tens of thousands of teachers and students. I thought he would seriously accept, just as he had spoken to me that day, but he jumped onto the stadium stands with a camera and let out a sharp, mocking laugh at me. No way, Grace. I was just kidding. You took it seriously? We only slept together for 4 years, and you want to be Mrs. Thompson? Don't you think you're worthy? I can smell your poverty from 10 feet away. Besides, you're not that good in bed. Go practice, and try to please me for another 10 years before you talk about it. The laughter of my classmates is still my nightmare. This seems honest, but I didn't expect her to be so cunning. With her family background, she wants to marry above one's station into the Thompson family? She truly overestimates herself. Who would want a slut who throws herself at men, after sleeping with her a few times? He'll get tired and dump her. Didn't young Thompson say it? She's not that good in bed. The countless sharp taunts still make me tremble when I recall them. Grace, did you hear what I said? I said I agree to your proposal from 10 years ago. Marcus's words pulled me out of my thoughts. A wave of nausea churned in my stomach. I used all my strength to shake off my wrist, which Marcus had gripped tightly. Shameless. Marcus, who gave you the confidence to think I would wait for you for 10 years? With that, I tried to walk away, but quickly moved to block my path. As people squeezed past, Marcus pressed close to me. He raised an eyebrow, leaned in, and whispered in my ear, Grace, you might not have been waiting for me, perhaps for these 10 years. No one else wanted you. After all, tens of thousands of male students heard about your lack of skill in bed back then. Word spreads. And now, what man would want you? With that, he leaned in again, a smirk playing on his lips. But it's all right. I'm older now and not as active. Not being good isn't a problem. Who told this young master to play a trick on you back then? Marrying you this time will be my way of making it up to you with my body. 3 days from now is the wedding day of William, Metropolis's richest man. That's definitely a good day. Let's get married that day too. Marcus's white shirt still carried the scent of his usual woody fragrance cologne, but at that moment, I only felt disgust. I lifted my foot and stomped my high heels directly onto Marcus's foot. I cursed him. You're disgusting. Get lost. Then I turned and walked away quickly, amidst his pained groans. Marcus's broken voice drifted after me. Grace, you haven't changed at all in your stubbornness. I like it. Remember, 3 days from now, with my mood spoiled, I left immediately. William, intrigued, rehearsed until nearly midnight before returning home. He came back and immediately collapsed into my arms. Grace, the thought of getting married in 3 days still makes me nervous. You weren't here today, so the boutique staff brought the wedding dress, and you couldn't try it on. Would you mind going to the boutique tomorrow to try it on? Watching this man, who is usually cold and indifferent outside, acting endearing in my arms, my thoughts once again became a tangled mess. After played his trick and left, I thought I would never be able to marry again in this life. Yet, despite my heartbreak, my career soared. I joined Hayes, working my way up to director, and from then on, I caught William's eye. Proposal, engagement, and then the wedding. Everything since then had been as smooth as a dream. The man in my arms gradually settled into a steady breath. After changing and washing up, I curled up on the sofa with him and slept through the night. The next morning, after eating the breakfast William had prepared for me, I went to the boutique. Just as I was about to try on the wedding dress and check the size, a familiar voice came from behind me. Oh, Grace, your stubborn yet soft-hearted ways haven't changed at all from back then. You cursed me as shameless and told me to get lost. Yet here you are, secretly trying on a wedding dress. Look at you. We're practically married. Why are you still so difficult with me? The store manager was about to speak, but I stopped her. I turned around, and a girl followed Marcus as they approached me. Noticing my gaze, Marcus explained nonchalantly, Ms. Chloe, Mr. Thompson's daughter. I brought her to try on an evening gown. She'll be your bridesmaid on our wedding day. 10 years ago, the reason I never doubted Marcus's words and desperately prepared for the proposal was largely due to this girl. She would frequently come to tell me about Marcus's expectations for the proposal. Initially, I thought Marcus had played a trick on her too, but on the sports field that day, among the jeering laughter, her laugh was the loudest and happiest. Now, these two stood together, like a pair of toads squatting at my feet. They weren't biting, just disgusting. I fiddled with the hem of the wedding dress the manager held, looking at Chloe, and smiled. My doesn't need a bridesmaid. Thank you for your kind intentions, Ms. Chloe. Of course, I should also thank you for your kind intentions 10 years ago. If it weren't for you. Grace, don't you ever stop. Before I could finish, Marcus interrupted me. He pulled the round-looking girl into his embrace and cast an impatient glance at me. Don't bring up things from so long ago. Even if Chloe was wrong 10 years ago, we're getting married now. She's here to be your bridesmaid out of kindness. Don't be unappreciative. With that, he waved his hand at the manager holding the wedding dress. Let try on this wedding dress, and find a white evening gown for my wife. The manager's eyes widened as she looked at Marcus. Mr. Thompson, the dress I'm holding is meant for the bride. Bridesmaids wear evening gowns. Perhaps you've made a mistake? Marcus's face clouded with displeasure. Do you think I don't know something as basic as that? Just do as I say. Find an evening gown for my wife to change into. After instructing the manager, Marcus turned to me. Grace, Chloe has always wanted to wear a wedding dress. Since we're getting married, let's fulfill her wish. You wore a shabby dress when you proposed to me back then, so I thought you probably don't like wedding dresses. You won't mind my arrangement, will you? I smiled, looking at Marcus, who was leaning back on the sofa. Of course I don't mind, because I'm not marrying you at all. At my words, Marcus suddenly shot up from the sofa. Not marrying me? If you're not marrying me, why are you here trying on a wedding dress? Grace, at this point, you don't need to throw a tantrum with me, do you? Let me tell you, women begging to marry me, Marcus, are lined up for the next 10 years. If you don't cherish this, don't blame me. Before could finish, a steady male voice came from the entrance of the boutique. Madam, Mr. William asked me to deliver the diamond ring for you to try on with the wedding dress. Everyone in the room turned in unison. They watched as the man gently placed the diamond ring in my hand. Marcus stared, dumbfounded, as the man walked toward the wedding door. As if realizing something, he stepped forward and grabbed the man's hand. His eyes wide, he demanded, "What did you mean by that just now?" "What, madam?" "Mr. William, diamond ring?" The man was Alex, William's bodyguard for 10 years. Unless it was an essential occasion, William rarely brought him along. Marcus naturally didn't recognize him. Alex glanced at Marcus with an expressionless look. He replied emotionlessly, "What I mean is none of your business. Let go." Marcus's face flushed red from being rejected. He didn't let go. Instead, he gripped tighter, his tone growing harsher. "Dare to defy me? Do you have a death wish? Answer what I ask. Tell me, what did you mean by that just now?" "That woman inside is my wife." "You." Crack! Marcus was halfway through his sentence when Alex swiftly twisted his hand around. Marcus instantly curled up on the floor in pain. Alex turned, bowed to me. "Madam, Mr. William said he'll wait for you at home for dinner." Then he left. As soon as Alex left, Marcus staggered to his feet. He shuffled over to me, grabbed my collar, and demanded, his bloodshot eyes fixed on me, "Grace, tell me, who sent this diamond ring? Who's the rich old man you've been secretly with behind my back?" "Marcus, are you out of your mind? We haven't been together for 10 years. What have I done to wrong you? Do you have any shame?" Marcus was about to speak when Chloe suddenly stepped forward and stopped him. "Forget it, Marcus. Don't argue here and make a spectacle for outsiders. Grace probably hasn't had an easy time on her own these past 10 years, so it's understandable she'd want to find a rich old man for support. Just make sure Grace breaks it off, and we'll let it go." Chloe's words calmed Marcus a little. He sighed deeply, then slumped onto the sofa. He rubbed the diamond ring he had taken from my hand. "Grace, call that old man and break up with him in front of me. Then we'll consider this matter settled. Since you like this ring so much, save it for our wedding day in 3 days. After what you've shamelessly done, don't bother with an evening gown. Just find any dress at home, and let's get married." I picked up the vase behind me and threw it directly at Marcus. Watching him, it seemed he was finally letting out all the resentment he'd held for 10 years. Screaming, "Can't hit me! Can't break up! Get out!" With that, I stormed out of the boutique without looking back. As soon as I stepped outside, I received a message from Marcus. "All right, Grace. Let's consider today's incident and what happened 10 years ago even. I'll give you 3 days. Break it off, and let's have a proper wedding." I threw my cell phone out the car window. How could such a shameless and disgusting person exist? The next morning, the delivery driver brought in a large package. Soon after, I received a message from Marcus on my cell phone. "Wedding supplies. I've also sent the wedding reception address to your cell phone. Don't be late on the wedding day." A few seconds later, seeing I hadn't replied, another message came. "Did you make it clear with that old man?" I hated that I had thrown my cell phone away too quickly yesterday and hadn't managed to blacklist him. The box was so worn that it had a large hole, and the contents spilled out like scrambled egg soup. Several tattered, wrinkled evening gowns, a big red wedding dress embroidered with red auspicious characters, and a series of bride's boutonnieres and wedding favors. I was about to tell the housekeeper to throw away these disgusting, filthy items when my cell phone rang. Marcus's voice on the other end was condescending. "On the wedding day, remember to thank Chloe. If it weren't for Chloe speaking up for you, I wouldn't have prepared a wedding dress for you. These were carefully selected by Chloe and me for you. Keep them safe." With that, he hung up before I could reply. After the call ended, I saw the wedding reception address he had just sent me. Rosewood, Hall 18. Remember to be on time. I spent a lot of connections and a lot of money to book this hall. The family, Metropolis's richest, is holding their wedding in Hall 1. You're not allowed to cause trouble that day. Damn it. That was Hayes, where William and I were getting married. Hall 18, if I remembered correctly, was the one in the farthest corner. No wonder William had told me a joke last night. That Hall 18, where spider webs are about to form. Someone suddenly broke their neck to book it. Let them book it. I'm in a good mood on our wedding day, so I didn't charge them. Thinking of this, I gave a speechless and weary smile, then immediately blacklisted, just as I was about to turn back to take a shower to wash away the bad vibes. William's sleepy voice came from behind me. "Grace, what are those red, tattered things on the floor? Haven't all our wedding items been prepared already?" I nudged William back inside. Someone must have sent their junk to the wrong address. I've already asked Maria to throw it out. Before I could finish, a shower of kisses fell upon me. On our wedding day, early in the morning, Marcus's calls flooded my blacklist's blocked list. I turned off my cell phone and got into the Hayes family's Customize, the only one in all of Metropolis, to head to the wedding reception venue. Outside manor, luxury cars were everywhere. Marcus's flashy sports car was parked in the outermost corner. I glanced at it, letting out a soft laugh, adjusting my wedding dress, covered in embedded diamonds. I got out of the car. The moment I opened the car door, a gentle spring breeze lifted my dress. I immediately saw Marcus in the crowd, wearing a groom's evening gown, his face pale. As soon as I got out of the car, gasps of surprise erupted from the crowd. William, no wonder you never bring your wife to banquets. You've kept his jewel hidden away. You're unwilling to show us such a beautiful wife, aren't you? Beauty is her least valuable asset. You know, William has been incredibly successful in business these past years thanks to his competent partner. Others rely on fathers and sons in battle, but William's a case of united in spirit. They're unstoppable. Well done, William. I hear even Grandpa, who is notoriously picky, smiled 3 times the moment he saw this girl and immediately urged you two to get married and start having grandchildren. William smiled as he greeted people in the crowd. What they said was true. Initially, the most anxious part of being with William was his parents. After all, there was a vast difference in social status between us. When I was with Marcus, even just dating, his parents fiercely suppressed and obstructed us. But unexpectedly, the first day William brought me home, Grandpa's eyes showed pure admiration for me. During a break when William was handling work, he pulled me into his study, his eyes filled with the kindness and warmth of an elder. Grace, William grew up in a family like ours. To achieve what he has today, his path has been filled with harshness and hardship. The number of times he has truly smiled in this house over the years doesn't compare to how much he has smiled in the hour since he brought you home. In my position, I couldn't give him a father's loving care. I have you to thank for the man he is today. I've heard about your journey together over the years. Thank you for not abandoning William when he faced a crisis, but instead choosing to stand by him and help him through difficult times. I, Henry, have never been one to insist on being socially compatible. His mother and I started from nothing, so I can particularly understand your struggles. It's William's fortune, and my fortune, to have a daughter-in-law like you in the Hayes family. Seeing you two getting married soon puts my mind at ease. His mother and I will be fully retiring now. This world belongs to you young people. It was only a 5-minute conversation, but it brought tears to my eyes. It also strengthened my confidence that William and I could truly make it work. A child raised in such a family could not be bad. Grace, it's almost time. Let's go. William's gentle whisper brought me back to my senses. I looked up at him with a smile and placed my hand in his palm. But after only 2 steps, Marcus, who had been standing stunned, rushed toward me. He blocked my path directly, looking at me, his bloodshot eyes demanding, "Grace, what do you mean by this?" This question made everyone present pause. After all, Marcus's parents were considered prominent businesspeople in Metropolis, and some people recognized Marcus. Seeing rush forward rudely to obstruct William and my wedding, some kind-hearted elders stepped forward to intervene. "Young man, are you the Thompson boy? Today is the Hayes family's wedding. Don't cause trouble here. Move aside quickly. Don't delay their auspicious hour." "That's right, young man. Don't be disrespectful. If you delay this important event for the Hayes family, your dad will kill you when you get home tonight. Move aside quickly." But didn't listen to a word. He stood there rigidly, like a stubborn post, in front of me. He even took another step closer. "Grace, don't you have anything to explain to me?" William was about to step forward to speak, but I stopped him. I took half a step back, meeting's questioning gaze. "What do I have to explain to you? What right do you have to demand an explanation from me? Because you promised me. You said you would marry me today." At his words, the scene erupted in an uproar. "No way. What girl would be foolish enough to give up the Hayes family to marry into a modest background family like the Thompsons? This kid must be talking nonsense. This girl has worked at Hayes for 10 years, staying with William through countless ups and downs. That young couple's relationship is very strong. That kid must be crazy." I glanced at the time. There wasn't much left until the auspicious hour. I was too lazy to get entangled with him any longer. I grabbed his tie, raised my arm, and slapped him across the face. You shameless dog. When did I ever promise to marry you? Marcus, today is my life's most important event. If you dare to ruin it, I will make your life miserable for the rest of my days. Let me tell you, just this morning, your dad sent someone to beg me for some business for your family. I was already hesitant, but if you keep making trouble, your Thompson family can forget about seeking favors from the Hayes family. Get out! Don't be disgusting here. With that, I pulled William's hand and tried to leave. Behind us, the elders' voices continued to admonish Marcus. Young man, stop causing trouble here. Your family's business hasn't been doing well these past years. If it weren't for leaning on the Hayes family's influence for occasional financial support, your family would have gone bankrupt long ago. Now go home quietly. Yes, go home quickly. If your dad finds out, he'll probably be infuriated into the hospital again. Stop causing trouble. This child of yours is truly a handful to deal with. I originally thought Marcus was 30 years old now. Not only had I, but the elders around us had also clearly explained the implications to him. Even for the sake of the Thompson family's business, he shouldn't continue to harass us. But the facts proved that 10 years had passed, and Marcus had truly not matured one bit. After only a few steps, Marcus's hoarse shouts came from behind. William, do you know that the woman beside you slept with me for 4 years in college? I still remember where that mole on her chest is. If I'm not mistaken, she also has a tattoo near her ribs, right? Let me tell you, my name is tattooed there. Are you sure you want to marry a woman like that? William froze in place. I knew then that things had truly escalated. William knew about Marcus rejecting my proposal in front of tens of thousands of teachers and students 10 years ago. At that time, he had stayed in Metropolis for a while longer to prepare for studying abroad. He heard from someone in his circle that a girl was going to propose to a boy at Eastwood University that day. He went out of curiosity to watch the spectacle. That day, he witnessed my humiliation and distress firsthand. During our 10 years of dating, I had never brought up the incident to him. It was on the night I returned home with him, in the small bedroom where he grew up, that he brought up that 10-year-old memory with innocent eyes. I remembered every word he said that day perfectly. Grace, I know I shouldn't bring this up, but I've waited 10 years and you never spoke about it, so I have to. I don't want us to have hidden, dusty secrets between us after we get married. You can show me all your past pains. Don't worry, I will never mock you. Actually, 10 years ago on the day you proposed, I was in the crowd watching, just one glance, and I could tell that animal was playing a trick on you. Many students on the sports field that day were mocking you, but I thought you did nothing wrong. You weren't the one who betrayed sincerity. You should face that part of your past openly. If there was a time in these 10 years when William and my hearts were closest, it was probably that day. In truth, we had truly weathered many storms in these 10 years. Hayes faced a business crisis, and William dealt with a difficult investor they couldn't secure for 3 years. Shareholders ganged up on them, and there was a mass exodus of mid-level management. Each time, after solving a problem, we would embrace, feeling our hearts grow a little closer. But none of those times compared to how close our hearts were that day. I knew William loved me, and so he felt deeply for the wounds I had suffered in the past. Over these years, the Thompson family's business had declined steadily, and I knew it was all William's doing. The reason he kept the Thompson family alive was that he was waiting for the day Marcus would kneel before him and beg. He loved me, and so he wanted to repay the hurt I had suffered in the past 1,000 times over. He knew exactly what was in that large cardboard box in the yard that day. Perhaps seeing that I didn't want to dwell on it, he let it go. But now, Marcus, this foolish idiot who didn't know his downfall was coming, had actively brought himself to our doorstep. Things wouldn't be so simple now. Perhaps seeing William frozen in place, Marcus thought he had struck a nerve. His voice grew even louder. William, I'm telling you, I ignored Grace for 10 years, and when I came back after 10 years, she still told me with her own mouth that she wanted to marry me. Don't think that just because you're taking her away now, it's because Grace is mad at me. Once she calms down, her heart will still be with me. William, the esteemed richest man in Metropolis, are you willing to sleep with a woman whose heart still belongs to another man? If you marry her today, perhaps in less than 2 years, all the wealth that 2 generations of your Hayes family have worked for will belong to me. Marcus! Whispers again arose from the guests nearby. No way? The daughter-in-law Grandpa personally chose actually has such a past? Has anyone seen that tattoo on her? What are you looking at? What kind of tattoo it is? How could William not know? Who among young people doesn't have a past? What's wrong with having a tattoo? I slowly turned around. William desperately grabbed my hand, but I still pulled free. I tore open my wedding dress. My ribs were smooth, without any trace of a tattoo. I calmed myself, walked up to Marcus, and slapped him across the face. Before he could react, my other hand followed with another slap. You despicable dog! You, Marcus, are not worthy of being tattooed on my body. Take a look at yourself and see what kind of trash you are. I admit I was blind 10 years ago and liked an animal like you for 4 years. But now, you're not even fit to tie my shoes. Marry you? Still thinking of you? Marcus, even in your dreams, you should choose your location. Open your damn eyes and look. This is William and my wedding. We've loved each other for 10 years. Do you think a few words from you can extinguish that? I'll give you one more chance. Get out. Otherwise, don't blame me for being unkind. Marcus feared losing face more than anything in this life. It seemed he was still the same deadbeat. The absence of the tattoo he spoke of had already made him a laughingstock among the crowd. Now, for someone of my background to publicly slap him twice and insult him so brazenly clearly exceeded his breaking point. He had clearly lost control. Grace, it seems your bed skills have improved quite a bit these past few years. Good enough to please young William. All right, I'd like to see what kind of spectacle you, a country girl from the mountains, can put on for me. I'm truly not leaving today. I took my cell phone from my assistant's hand. Smiling lightly, I looked at Marcus. All right, you stay right here. Don't you dare leave. With that, the call was already placed. The phone was quickly answered, and a somewhat aged, fawning voice came from the other end. MS. Grace, are there any instructions calling so early? Your puppy is having a fit at my wedding. Aren't you, Mr. Thompson, going to come take a look? Marcus lunged at me, snatching the cell phone. Dad? The person on the other end was clearly stunned. But soon, humble apologies rang out repeatedly. I'm sorry, MS. Grace, truly sorry. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Dad, why are you speaking to her in such a fawning tone? Before could finish, the call was disconnected from the other end. This second son probably never imagined that his father, a man in his 60s, had been barely clinging to life from William's manipulations over the years. With this incident today, the Thompson family was likely facing complete ruin. The phone had just been hung up. Marcus charged at me, his eyes bloodshot. He roared hoarsely, Grace, how old are you? Still calling your parents for help with problems? What good will it do to call my dad here? I'm this old. Can he still control me? At his words, continuous sighs arose from the surroundings. Alas, Old was strong his whole life. How did he raise such an ignorant animal? At a time like this, he's still talking like a child. It's truly troubling. I originally thought this girl had deep feelings for the Thompson boy, but now it seems it was all his wishful thinking. Look at the aura and tactics the girl used when calling old Thompson just now, today. She intends to crush the Thompson family like an ant. Look at William, who hasn't said a word over there. This boy is exactly like his father when he was young. When he's furious, he just gets a cold face and doesn't say a word. Just wait. The Thompson family's downfall will be today. If you ask me, that young couple, William and Grace, truly are united in spirit. They're unstoppable. Marcus didn't hear a word of these comments. He sat boldly on William's car hood, crossed his legs, and lit a cigarette. Just wait. When my dad gets here, he'll give you, his future daughter-in-law, a good talking to. William stood behind me, his face cold and silent, but I saw that he had already sent out several messages. Sure enough, a few minutes later, a car screeched to a halt in the courtyard, and Marcus's father rushed straight toward him. He kicked Marcus off William's car. Then, he plastered a smile on his face and walked toward William and me. The moment he saw William, without any hesitation, he knelt down with a thud. William's expression remained unchanged, but was clearly terrified by the scene before him. He had feared his father since childhood. Thompson was always known for his ruthless tactics outside. But now, he knelt before William, a younger man, without the slightest hesitation, seeming still reluctant to speak. Marcus's father's voice trembled when he spoke again. Mr. William, please, let our Thompson family off the hook this once. I, Thompson, failed as a parent. I came here today specifically to apologize to you for my unfilial son. You don't know, but because of those few calls from you, The Thompson family is already in chaos. If you still don't speak, within moments, our Thompson family will be ruined. A gasp of surprise came from someone behind him. The family's capital chain is broken. Stock prices plummeted. Marcus also quickly pulled out his cell phone to check, and his face instantly turned ashen. He dropped to his knees before William and me with a thud. I was wrong. Please, let our Thompson family off the hook. I promise I will never disturb your lives again. I'm worthless. I deserve this. But it has nothing to do with my dad or the Thompson family. William watched the distraught and dejected father and son before him with cold eyes. Speaking icily, my one and only wedding in this lifetime was thrown into utter chaos by this disastrous son of yours. This is exactly what you deserved. He stood there, chillingly, watching the Thompson family father and son kneel, heads bowed, their voices hoarse. Yet he remained completely unmoved. In just half an hour, the Thompson family's business empire, built over decades, came crumbling down. Thompson suffered a sudden heart attack and died right there at our wedding reception venue, though was completed nonetheless. Later that night, on the way home, William held my hand, resting his chin on my forehead as he murmured softly, "My own wedding, which I'd rehearsed countless times, was disrupted by those two idiots, and they still had the nerve to beg for mercy. William, someone died. You know, doesn't matter. My heartfelt vows didn't go as planned. If it's really that bad, let's just have it again in a few days." 3 days later, we had another wedding. At the wedding, another person from the Thompson family died at the venue. Marcus committed suicide right in front of me. Before slitting his wrists, he shed 2 tears. "Grace, I want you to never forget me for the rest of your life." How utterly sickening. It wasn't just him I couldn't forget. It was also the fly I'd swatted dead when I was 3. How could there be someone so stupid and so utterly repulsive in this world? Thank you for watching this video. If you have any thoughts about this story, feel free to share them in the comments section. Here is Roses and Love, sharing stories about marriage and women every day. See you tomorrow.